Welcome to Tzu Chi This week. I'm Terry Poo. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers offer emotional and material support to Syrian refugees and local needy families. In Indonesia and Jakarta, Tzu Chi volunteers organize a handover ceremony to celebrate the erection of 8 houses for fire survivors in Se-ling-ching village. In China, we join Tzu Chi volunteers and collegiate youth volunteers across Zhejiang and Shanghai as they celebrate Suzhou Jing Books and Cafe for its 7th anniversary. First up, we go to Jordan. Tzu Chi volunteers there have continued to care for Syrian refugees who have settled in Amman and Ramtha. The volunteers also conduct regular home visitations on behalf of Jordanian families, providing them with much-needed emotional and material support. Having been in Jordan for over a year now, these 50 Syrian families are here to attend Tzu Chi's most recent aid distribution. Since May of last year, local volunteer Najed has offered his house to serve as the venue for Tzu Chi's event, and in the process has forged a close bond with both refugees and Tzu Chi volunteers. In Amman, the capital of Jordan, Tzu Chi volunteers organize an aid distribution on a monthly basis for Syrian refugees too. In addition to caring for refugees, Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers periodically visit Jordanian care recipients as well. Today, they are visiting Ayed's house. There, they hear some good news.
I am getting married this June, and I hope Brother Ji can attend my wedding.
This is Omer, who was taken under Tzu Chi's wing 3 years ago. His father abandoned him and his mother when he was 2. At 12, Omer was diagnosed with cancer. Now he makes a living by making perfume.
Each bottle of perfume is 1 Jordanian dinar. My mother and aunt make other handicrafts as well.
16-year-old Rama in Erbil was diagnosed with hearing problems when young. However, her family was unable to afford a hearing aid, which costs more than $1,700. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers offer their assistance.
تمام هيك سمعتيني أحسن ممتاز.
Thanks to the Tzu Chi volunteers, these residents now find that love is all around them. In the United States, Chicago, Illinois is the 3rd largest city, and hidden within the prosperous city is a group of homeless people in need of assistance. The People's Church has long been a shelter for the city's homeless, where Tzu Chi volunteers have been serving monthly hot meals for the past 10 years.
Pouring oil into the heated pan, Tzu Chi volunteers are preparing to make omelets for their monthly hot meal distribution for the homeless at the People's Church in Chicago.
There are vegetarian spring rolls, greens, and eggs. We plan to serve approximately 120 to 150 people today. The most we have ever served were probably around 160 to 170 people.
Since 2004, Chicago Tzu Chi volunteers have served hot meals on every second Saturday of each month at People's Church. This act of love has yet to stop since it first started 10 years ago. Even though Cai Kai-ming suffers from breast cancer, she still insists on participating.
It's a blessing to be able to give. Imagine if you were lying in bed and couldn't do anything. That's when life seems bleak. I hold a heart of gratitude because if I can give, this means I still have strength left in me.
In the past, the homeless could stay at the church basement, so there were more people to enjoy our hot meals. Every time before our service began, we would share with them the Master's teachings and talk to them.
Before breaking bread together, volunteers offer spiritual sustenance to carry everyone through the bad times.
I really like this quote. Be grateful always for everything and everyone and every moment.
You like Chinese food, huh?
Love it.
But there's no meat.
But it's very, very, very good. And we look forward to seeing you all come every year.
Oh, really?
So when they said you come in the second Saturday and the fourth Saturday, it's like
You happy, making you happy.
Make us very, very happy.
Delicious vegetarian meals, along with love and care fitting a family, this gathering not only warms the stomachs of the homeless, but also their hearts.
New York City volunteers recently participated in the Asian American Festival in North Hempstead, where they promoted Tzu Chi's ideals by showcasing items made from recycled PET bottles and Jing publications. But first, we joined Tzu Chi Youth Orchestra Long Island at their first year-end concert.
Before taking to the stage to perform, members of the Tzu Chi Youth Orchestra of Long Island first offered tea to help their audience experience the unique Tzu Chi humanity. Established in December of 2013, the orchestra is the first of its kind in the U.S. Carol Krushner, the conductor, has personally witnessed the youth's growth.
We've had a wonderful time together, and they are so well prepared. I would say many middle school orchestras in the United States of America are not as proficient as these students.
Besides sharpening their skills at the weekly practice session, the orchestra's members also take in Tzu Chi's lessons on gratitude, respect, and love.
I enjoy it a lot because you get to spend time with your friends and enjoy playing music.
Before I joined this orchestra, I didn't like to practice, but afterward, I don't mind it as much.
Meanwhile, in recognition of Tzu Chi's ideals, the annual Asian American Festival at North Hempstead has invited volunteers to attend once again to promote environmental conservation.
You are always the best, organization to carry out any kind of a non-profit, good cause event.
It's really cool how they're using plastic to make shirts, and that's really cool.
Using recycled cardboard boxes, volunteers set up a stage to tell stories of the Chinese zodiac with Chinese shadow puppets. The audience also tries their hands at making their own puppets after the show. With such light-hearted play, fairgoers gain a deeper understanding of the Chinese culture.
Last November in Indonesia's North Jakarta, a fire in Se-ling-ching village displaced many residents. To lend a hand, Tzu Chi worked with the local police and helped the fire victims rebuild their homes. Recently, 8 houses have been completed. Thus, a handover ceremony was held on May 20th.
Spacious and clean, Faido never imagined she would be able to move into her new home so quickly after a blaze destroyed her home last November.
I am very happy that my house has been rebuilt so nicely.
Last November, there was a fire here, so Tzu Chi teamed up with us to rebuild houses. Now that the homes are complete, we will soon ask residents to move in.
As the fire destroyed everything Faido possessed, despite her handicap, the new homeowner wanted to attend the ceremony to thank all those who helped her dream come true.
Before, I saw construction workers working through their lunch break and in the rain. They have worked so hard, so I want to make some snacks for them to thank them for their efforts.
Since 2006, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping the poor and destitute in Se-ling-ching village rebuild homes lost to fire or simply due to old age, so they may at least have a safe shelter.
For the houses we built, we took into consideration the needs of the residents. We hope this will inspire them to share their good fortunes with others.
With their living conditions improved, the members of these 8 households can live the rest of their days in style and comfort in their new home.
Recently, Team R members held a free clinic in Biak, Indonesia, providing ophthalmology and surgical services on behalf of local residents. Seeing cataract patients smile again after regaining their vision, doctors say their patients' happiness is their greatest comfort.
72-year-old Pak Gondo suffers from vision impairment due to cataracts. However, he will soon undergo cataract surgery here at Tzu Chi's free clinic, which will help restore his vision. The procedure lasted 15 minutes, and as volunteers put an eye patch over Gando's eyes, his daughter-in-law Tina is there by his side.
He is very happy because ever since I married into their family, my father-in-law hasn't seen me. He says once he recovers, the first person he wants to see is me. I hope Tzu Chi's free clinics will continue to help those in need.
After the surgery, media volunteers visited Gando at his home. Now that the surgery is over and he is no longer anxious, Gando told them a rumor that had been circulating in his community for years.
I once heard that a cataract surgery involved first removing the eyeballs. Then a wire will be used to scrape and remove the lens of your eye. When I heard that, I was so frightened, I burst into tears.
The misconstrued rumor only added to the residents' fear of surgery. Fortunately, team of members are here with their professional medical care and successfully treating many patients who have long suffered from eye disease.
The service provided by the medical team at the free clinic was so incredible. The residents of Biak are truly thankful. The volunteers, nurses, and doctors provided food to us as well. This love all came from the Tzu Chi Foundation. We are all very happy.
Actually, a patient's happiness is a doctor's greatest reward. If our patients are happy, we will be even happier than them.
Returning from a world of darkness to a world of light and color, residents here all witness the beauty of Tzu Chi's selfless great love.
Recently in China, the Suzhou Jing Books & Cafe celebrated its 7th anniversary. To get closer to the Jing Dharma lineage, collegiate youth volunteers from Zhejiang and Shanghai gathered in the cafe to take part in a training camp. But first, we joined Tzu Chi volunteers in the celebration of the cafe's move to a new location.
To mark Suzhou Jing Books & Cafe's 7th birthday, over 300 Tzu Chi volunteers come together to celebrate the occasion. Today is also the day to celebrate the cafe's move to a new location.
Coming here, it feels like home. My heart is at ease and soothed.
A young volunteer plays guzheng, while a Kunqu performer puts on a famous Suzhou opera. Suzhou's Shiquan Street, known for its culture, has become a popular tourist spot in recent years. As a result, hotels have flooded the area. Chief of Operations Lin Xinzhi vows to bring Jing's aphorisms into these hotels, while Dharma Master De Yue encourages volunteers to work harder to achieve their goals.
Tzu Chi volunteers never talk about misery. There would be no end to that. We only talk about blessings and how to know them.
Here I can learn a lot of things, including how to love and care for others.
This is a place where visitors can find peace of mind.
The young volunteers also seized the opportunity to prepare lunch for their Tzu Chi family. Leading by example, the youngsters return all plastic bags to stall owners and use their own reusable bags instead, thus spreading their message of environmental protection to all.
In Taiwan's New Taipei City, Yonghe Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help Mr. Zhu clean up his home. Enduring the filth and awful smell, the volunteers worked tirelessly to leave Mr. Zhu's house with a fresh new look. Trash and unwanted items fill this apartment, as well as unpleasant odors from garbage that should have been thrown away long ago. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help with all of this. To clear away the mountains of trash, volunteers have to be resourceful.
His toilet is blocked, so the toilet overflowed into his bedroom, wetting books and clothes, and it smells terrible.
After his stroke, Mr. Zhu was left unable to tend to household chores. Upon learning of his situation, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up his house.
We hope they can maintain a cleaner home after we leave. This way, they can keep up a better relationship with their neighbors as well.
刚刚在做的过程中，我们都已经有问你说你这些东西要不要？对，谢谢，就是这样。谢谢各位，谢谢各位。
Thanks to the volunteers, after hours of hard work, the apartment is clean once more. Before they leave, the volunteers talked about their feelings of the day.
We have time to help those in need. It's something that makes us happy.
Other than our everyday work, we need to do something for the needy too.
At the end of the day, volunteers once again experience that happiness comes from giving without expecting anything in return. In Malaysia, medical volunteers of the Tzu Chi Penang Dialysis Center held the Buddha Day ceremony to give patients and their family members the chance to honor the Buddha. Meanwhile, a gratitude event was held at the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter, where staff members expressed their thanks to volunteers and members of the public who supported this year's Buddha Day event.
At the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter, staff members are holding a gratitude event to thank Tzu Chi volunteers and members of the public for their support of this year's Buddha Day ceremony.
I came to attend Tzu Chi's gathering because I wanted to know how Tzu Chi volunteers were able to organize such a meaningful ceremony. After listening to everyone's experience, I am truly grateful.
To express their gratitude, staff members at the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter respectfully offered cups of tea to participants.
The purpose of today's gratitude gathering is to thank our Tzu Chi uncles, aunts, and volunteers for their dedication. Without them, we wouldn't be able to hold our Buddha Day ceremony. Thanks to their help, the ceremony concluded on a perfect note.
Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a Buddha Day ceremony for those who could not make it to the original celebration.
Many dialysis patients couldn't attend the Buddha Day ceremony, so we decided to organize a ceremony here to give patients and their family members a chance to honor the Buddha.
Under the guidance of medical volunteers, dialysis patients and their family members pay their respects to the Buddha.
I'm very thankful. The decorations were very beautiful and stately.
I just paid my respects to the Buddha. I am very happy. Thank you so much.
The decorations were very beautiful but not overbearing. Seeing the beautiful decorations in front of the Buddha left my heart filled with joy.
Through attending the Buddha Day ceremony, dialysis patients' hearts are not only cleansed but filled with Dharma joy.
Also in Malaysia, as Tzu Chi volunteer Zhou Jinlong was attending the Buddha Day ceremony on May 11th, he received the shocking news of his mother's passing. In the beginning, Zhou was reluctant to accept the news, but he later realized it was actually the Buddha who had taken his mother to a better place. At the memorial ceremony, Zhou's family members and Tzu Chi volunteers came together to bid farewell. This year, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhou Jinlong experienced one of the most memorable Buddha Day ceremonies in his life.
As I was honoring the Enlightened One, my mobile phone started buzzing.
After Zhou Jinlong picked up the phone, he was informed of his mother's passing. At that moment, the Enlightened One he had just honored on behalf of his mother came to mind.
During her final days, her health was getting worse day by day. Perhaps she was waiting for a right moment to leave this world. She might have followed the light of the Buddha and gone to a better world.
Zhou Jinlong believes his mother followed in the Buddha's footsteps and left for a better world.
虽然说他离开了我们那么
Though I feel sad for her leaving, I have no regrets because I believe I have done my best to tend to my mother during her final days.
Coming together for the memorial service, Zhou Jing and his siblings take one last opportunity to show their filial piety and extend their blessings to their beloved mother. In Taiwan, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Yao Fuchun, who used to be a strong athletic man, but 3 years ago, doctors found a tumor in his spleen. He chose to remove the tumor and go in for treatment. Yao chose not to let the illness defeat him. Instead, he's now more involved in Tzu Chi than ever and seizes every opportunity to do good deeds. He even participates in the initiative of rising early to watch Master Zheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast, hoping to understand more about life's meaning and help others in need.
Yao Fuchun and his wife love to spend time with his mother, who recently had surgery to replace her hip joint.
我做慈济跟不做慈济有什么差别？
差多了，改善很多了啦，改善很多了，真的是
改变。
这改善一个人最漂亮的人，真的改了很多。不要动哦。
Approved by his mother, Yao enjoys being in Tzu Chi. But as being filial is also about not worrying his mother, he has thus kept something hidden from his mother. Not wasting time, Yao sorts recyclables to protect the planet, all because 3 years ago, the athletic police officer found out he had a tumor in his spleen. Having a hard time dealing with this news himself, he also hid it from his mother.
I am an athlete. These things don't happen to me. My health checks came back fine. I couldn't believe it. This is what they mean by the impermanence of life, and I now fully understand what Master Zheng Yan means when she says there's not enough time.
Readying the venue to watch the morning broadcast of Master Zheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn, Yao and his wife, Chen Wenfei, race against the clock to gain more wisdom.
I keep in my heart the words that my husband said to me. He said, once the doctor declares that I'm not going to make it, you should immediately transport me to Hualien to donate my body.
We are already walking on the Tzu Chi path. This is a good cultivation ground, a good place to nurture our wisdom.
Facing the impermanence of life, Yao has not bowed down to his illness, but instead puts 100% into every task, as he seizes all opportunities to help wherever he can.
We stay in Taiwan at the end of our show. As Dragon Boat Festival is around the corner, over 20 Tzu Chi volunteers came together in Taipei's Neihu district to make vegetarian sticky rice dumplings, which were later given away as a thank you gift to international representatives who participated in the Buddha Day ceremony held in mid-May. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Tzu Chi this week. Goodbye.